How's it going, everyone? It is Only here. Welcome back to another video as always. Hope your weekend went well. Hopefully your start of the week is going well here on Monday. A lot's happened lately. Obviously Resident Evil 2 just launched this past Friday. I've been playing that, live streaming that on Twitch. It's been a pretty blast of a time, honestly, playing for that game, at least the Leon's campaign so far. And yeah, I'm going to be live streaming later today, hopefully able to finish it on stream today. Follow me on Twitter for updates on that. But yeah, just a lot's been going on. We got Kingdom Hearts 3 launching this week. And the thing I want to talk about today is just the Anthem beta that just happened this past weekend. It was like a VIP demo for people that pre-ordered the game, or at least had like some friend codes to give to people. It's going to be opening up their doors pretty much like this Friday. I believe this weekend is going to be like the open beta, so if you did not have a chance to play it, you can play it this weekend. But yeah, let's talk about it. I played through it pretty much about a day and a half because this beta was pretty broken for the first day and a half. Just at least the first 36 hours or so, at least for me, were one hell of a drag because it took me pretty much 24 hours to even sign into the beta. They were having like login issues, verification issues to see who actually had the beta. I don't think those issues were really like fully resolved until like Saturday night maybe. Yeah, they had like an infinite loading screen glitch, which was really annoying. It was pretty much affecting everybody. I don't think there's like anybody that I saw that wasn't being affected by that. Maybe some people on PC, but everyone that at least I talked to had that issue, and it was like a really common issue. BioWare's, communication's been pretty decent over the weekend. It was kind of rough on the first day, but when I actually did get into the game, what did I think? I guess that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. Anthem's a game that I've been pretty excited for since it like got fully revealed at E3 2017 a year and a half ago. Yeah, I think my reaction video was pretty funny. Yeah, it looked really cool to me, honestly. Obviously, like those E3 games that show so much potential, it's pretty interesting to see how they launch because obviously a lot of them don't come into fruition like with how they pitched it, at least at E3, and showed it off to the consumers. But Anthem is an interesting one because it's one that I haven't really been following lately until I just got my hands on the game and I was like, I was excited for it. EA's kind of been crappy lately, which kind of just took my excitement down quite a bit because of, Star Wars Battlefront, and I haven't really looked forward to an EA game in a long time. I'm gonna be completely honest with that. So yeah, BioWare, Anthem, how is it? What did I think? First of all, the controls of this game are really good. I honestly really have a lot of control over, the javelins. It feels like, whatever you're doing, like you're fully doing it. You feel like you can do. There's like very like few games to me where I feel like I'm actually like in control with like every single little movement that I have and everything I want to do in that game. Just everything from flying to like landing up above to having like advantage over your enemies, and just be able to combine like the special abilities and just ultimately your like gun attacks. Obviously, it's like pretty fun. They have it pretty tied down really good. The flying in particular is really satisfying, especially on console. I've heard on PC because of the whole keyboard and mouse issue. It's having a bit of problems there because obviously an analog stick would be a lot easier when it's like the little flicks come back to the center. It's a lot easier to fly like that. Yeah, the PC on that end is kind of having a little bit of trouble there. Ultimately though, the combat aside and just, yeah, the game just makes you feel like a badass and a superhero. It just really feels good to play that game, and it really feels like a lot of games like Destiny, I feel like you feel like you're just like some random person in the world that you all of a sudden just have these godly skills to like take out Gaul or the Cabal, and just feels like with Anthem, like with these suits, it really makes you feel like you stand out in the world and that you just kick ass if you know how to use it right. And yeah, it's just so satisfying to play. I do have some gripes with it. When you're completing some of the missions, whenever like the loot drops, it's kind of annoying where it doesn't really feel like you really get what you're picking up. Sure, it has like on the bottom right like what you're picking up, but it doesn't really show you what you're picking up until the very end of the game. So for people that are going out on these runs, like playing some of these missions, especially for like the end game of whatever Anthem's end game is going to be, it's going to be kind of hard to just like pick up some items and just have that like, I don't know, that kind of constant loop of picking up loot and like wanting to do that like over and over again. It doesn't feel like it's at that level that at least Destiny hasn't been able to achieve since pretty much Destiny 1. Yeah, just like whenever like things drop, it kind of feels minimal to me, which is kind of sad. Like that kind of needs to be like an integral part of this game that makes you feel like kind of satisfied to get these, drops and to see what you got. So yeah, something on that end kind of needs a little bit of a rehaul in that way, which is kind of, kind of scary considering launch is coming out next month. I mean, it's obviously pretty fine if like the game plays well and that you eventually do find out what you're getting, but it is kind of like that thing for like the diehard Anthem fans that are going to be coming back to this game. Feels like it needs a little bit of work there. The UI in general also kind of fits in this category for me. I feel like a lot of the stuff like the quests and everything kind of feels, I don't know, I feel like it could be a little bit more organized better, or at least like in a certain sense with like more on like the start menu than just like in the pure open world and like starting up and getting in your suit. The fort in general, by the way, I really don't enjoy any time I'm in the fort. Like, just the speed that you're walking is pretty slow considering how far away you have to get to your suit in the forge, as well as just talking to the people all around the world is pretty neat, but it feels kind of dead in a way. And just, I don't know, it just, whenever you're playing the game and you're out there in the world beyond the walls, like, you're having a really big of a blast where you're just kind of like forgetting everything else in the game. But whenever you're not playing and whenever you're inside the walls, it just kind of feels a bit of a drag, which is kind of a shame. Like, everything in Anthem kind of is a little bit mediocre to me, besides when you're out there killing enemies and actually in the world, which is the core part of the game, and it should focus more on that end more than, you know, being out in the fort, which is something that's kind of concerning considering that's kind of like a big push for them. That's just my personal opinion at the end of the day, though. Let's talk about the performance, because obviously that matters a lot in terms of beta. You know, you got your server issues, which we already covered, but yeah, the performance is a big thing. Anthem isn't a perfect game. It's really solid for the most part, but whenever it gets chaotic, which a lot of times it does get chaotic because a lot of these missions, you know, can get pretty tense near the end, especially like some of the strongholds. Yeah, man, it really drops quite a bit when a lot of stuff happens on screen. I mean, it still manages to become playable, but it gotta be at least like 22 FPS at times when it's dropping, like just like in the low 20s at least. And yeah, it can get kind of annoying when it drops like that whenever a lot of stuff happens on screen. It doesn't become to the point where it's unplayable, but it just like those extra frames can just like kill you in a way, especially with like a fast-paced combat that Anthem has. It's just kind of annoying there. Ultimately, I haven't run into too many performance issues. I know some people are having crashes and stuff. At least on consoles, I think crashes for the most part are pretty solid. Of course, the infinite loading screen might make you have to like boot out of the game, but yeah, besides that, the performance seems to be pretty decent. I know they're working on some fixes for the main game, but yeah, the performance needs a little bit more optimization, especially in like some of the tense moments like the stronghold where a lot of particles and everything is going to shit. Just, yeah, it really takes a little bit of a beating there. Ultimately, like, the world, it seems pretty dead. Like, the original E3 video, like, all these animals were, like, you know, roaming around as you're flying above them. Just, that's not really a reality in terms of the actual game right now, in terms of the beta state, at least. Yeah, it pretty much is, like, the only thing that makes it alive is, like, some of the birds flying in the air and, like, you and your partners, which I believe it's only, like, 4 people that could be in the world at once, I believe so. You know, make sure to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it says 4 people, so. Yeah, the world can seem kind of dead if you're outside of missions and just doing some, like, free roam activities. Yeah, that's just all I have to say there. It's just not, I just don't really play free play because of that. It just feels kind of like I'd rather be in a mission at that point because it just doesn't feel like there's much incentive to actually be out there. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Anthem when you're out in the free play world because it's just kind of dead and it's just like, yeah, this is kind of boring, you know? The missions themselves, they kind of remind me of Destiny. I don't really want to, like, you know, keep kind of like comparing this to Destiny, but I'm only saying that because of like the typical guy in the ear, and just it reminds you of like, you know, the person that's always contacting you in your missions in Destiny, whether that's like Zavala or Arcade or something, you know. It always feels like that, at least when playing Anthem, and it kind of, I feel like I know what's going on a little bit more during the missions, but it does have that sense where you just kind of just go from point A to point B and just listen to what they tell you, kill whatever you have to, you know, bullet sponge enemies at the end of the mission, kind of like the typical format for kind of like a game in this genre, so to say. You know, really at that point, Anthem is like for those people that enjoy that kind of type of game. Yeah, if you don't typically enjoy like the whole loop system of getting more loot, really you're only be playing the Anthem campaign and probably dropping it after a couple of weeks maybe at the most, and then you're not going to be coming back when they add more content and stuff, really. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's kind of like the audience for it. If you like that, you know, Anthem is kind of like a third person version of that, you know, with, you know, javelins and stuff. It is a really solid game, you know. Obviously if you're into that kind of genre, like the controls are like some of the best in the genre. Personally, I think I enjoy it more than Warframe, for sure. And Destiny, I feel like it has a little bit like of a edge, at least in terms of combat so far, because of like just satisfaction you get playing Destiny. I feel like it's one of the most solid first-person shooters out there. Despite all the hate it gets, it is really consistent with that. It's just, you know, whenever you boot up Destiny, it is going to be a fun time. Yeah, that's all I have to say really there. Anthem is a solid game. I wouldn't say it's like as solid as Destiny, but it's a really, probably the best third-person alternative out there. The Stronghold I got to play that in the final few hours because the matchmaking got better as like the weekend went on. I enjoyed it. It's like equivalent of like a strike or something. Not as hard as like a raid, obviously, that takes like hours, but it's probably like a 30-40 minute mission that you have to play with friends. You can't play it solo. Yeah, it's not that tough. It's just pretty much, you know, collect some stuff and bring it to point A to point B. The enemies are harder because it is like, you know, more of an end game kind of mission. It probably isn't going to be a part of Anthem's end game, but it's going to be part of that like middle ground area. You're going to have your missions, and you're going to have like your strongholds, and then you're going to have like the Grandmaster difficulties and like the legendary contracts that they've been saying for their end game of Anthem will contain. Yeah, it was pretty solid. I did kind of like run into an issue that was with the audio, where I'd get to this one point in the stronghold mission and just my audio would just cut out completely, and it would like actually disfigure my whole PS4 audio. Like I backed out to like the theme, and like my audio was just acting really weird. It was like a really weird glitch I haven't seen in any game. I thought maybe it was just my PS4, maybe like a cable was loose or something like that, but I did replay the stronghold because the stronghold got glitched and we couldn't continue later on in the mission to get to the final boss, so I had to like pretty much relaunch the stronghold mission and go at it again, which really sucked. And I got to that same point in the game where the audio cut out again, so hopefully they know that. Hopefully that part of the mission, I'll probably play it here, where the audio cuts out. Hopefully they know that's an issue. I haven't really seen many people bring it up, so I'm going to bring it up because it's happened to me twice. Pretty much 100% of the time I play that mission, the stronghold mission, yeah, my audio cuts out there, which is kind of weird because playing with no sound, it's not the most immersive thing out there. You know, when you're finally beating that like spider boss at the end, playing with no sound is no fun. So yeah, that was a bit of an issue. I mean, these kind of things are meant for a beta. You know, you're supposed to iron it out before launch, which is a good thing we're doing, because if they didn't have a beta for Anthem, man, the launch weekend was going to be abysmal for them, just like it was this weekend. So it's good things to find this out ahead of time, I guess. But yeah, I guess today they unlocked all the javelins. I played during the beta pretty much just Ranger and Storm. Storm I like a lot. I pretty much like Ranger as well. He's like kind of like the easy guy to first get into the game. That's why they start you out with him, at least in the beta. But Storm, man, he's pretty good with his elemental abilities and just the ability to shoot from pretty much in the air without losing like your heat cooldown thing. So yeah, he's a pretty good choice. I'm honestly probably going to main Storm and Ranger going in. I do want to try out the other two next weekend when it goes to the open beta, because our stuff will carry over, which is cool. But yeah, Storm and Ranger are pretty neat. So I guess that's it for like kind of my thoughts on the beta. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty consistent. It's pretty good. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I'm personally just saying that out loud. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that good. Probably going to buy it. I might wait maybe a few weeks till like the launch ends to see if like how people are talking about it, similar to how like Destiny 2 happened. A lot of people liked it in the beginning, and then like a couple of days later when people got to the end game and figured out that there was pretty much nothing there besides just logging in once a week to do your like milestones. Yeah, I might wait for that. I don't know. I want to at least wait for reviews, but it is like an only online kind of game, so you kind of have to wait a couple weeks until the game fully comes out to see how much content this game will have, you know. I'm probably going to do that, or at least, you know, play next weekend to see if they'll sell me even more. But yeah, I'm pretty much almost sold on the game. Like pretty much if I'm hearing good things, like within like the first week it comes out, I might pick it up. I wasn't thinking about picking up Anthem. I was going to just pretty much, you know, my next game after Resident Evil 2 right now, I was just looking at DMC5. But yeah, I might pick up Anthem in February after this beta. It's definitely a really solid game, and it's a lot of fun. Obviously, you know, this is just a beta review. Microtransactions are not in the game yet, so obviously, you know, the drop rates and everything might be altered for the full release, so things I'm saying right now are only going to be valid for just right now. That's how Anthem is right now in the beta, but it could change at launch. There's more to look forward to. You know, I think BioWare's already said that they're going to be working on stuff after launch, and just, they've already announced that they're going to be doing like an online hub. They listen to fans. There is like an online hub that holds like 16 people. That's going to be coming at launch. BioWare's listening, so that's pretty good. And hopefully they get this stuff sorted out by launch. So I guess let me know what you guys think about the beta, if you guys got to play it, if you guys seen footage online or just have friends. Are you guys convinced to buy Anthem? Are you guys going to be picking it up at all? Or are you just not sold on it because it's just not something that interests you? Or is it the typical, it's EA, you're not sure kind of argument? So I guess let me know all that in the comments down below. Of course, I'm only half the story. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching through this whole entire video. Make sure to catch the Resident Evil 2 stream I'm about to do later today. Again, follow me on Twitter for updates on that. And yeah, with that being said, I've been online. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.